What's going on today, YouTube? I just was coming on here. I have been contemplating a bunch of different video ideas and just bouncing them around in my head. And this is the one that's sort of been sitting at the forefront for a long time. And I finally decided to sit down and, plan out all the steps. And because when you go in to do it, obviously, if you've done it a few times, it's just kind of muscle memory and you know just what you're doing. But what I'm referring to is going in and how to set up OBS and how to add your scenes, add your sources, be able to capture screenplay, be able to capture gameplay, do all of that fun stuff. And this video is going to be hopefully a quick tutorial on how to do that, and hopefully it answers some questions that you guys might have. So first thing, obviously, you'll want to do is go in and whatever internet browser you use, whether it's Chrome, Firefox, Edge, whatever, go on to Google and search for OBS itself. Once you've done that, downloaded it, all that fun stuff, and you get it open, a lot of times what it's going to ask you if you want to do the auto configuration wizard. Sorry, couldn't think of what it was called. And what the auto configuration wizard will do is run your display and your strength to your internet and figure out what exactly is going to be the best settings as far as what your stream quality is going to look like, and it's also going to put it on the best server for it to be able to do so. So I'm going to start basically from the ground up and show you guys how to do this. I only have, my camera capturing so that you guys can see me and basically see what it is that I'm doing. What I'm going to do is go ahead and reduce the size of this camera and, adjust a little bit. And this will be one of the steps that I show you guys later on. I'm just doing this real quick now, and then we'll move this down so you guys can still see me. So you should be able to see everything that I'm going to be doing here in OBS. So once you've run through the auto configuration wizard, which if it doesn't ask you to do that, this is how you go in to run that. You'll click on tools and then click on auto configuration wizard, which I've already done it. So that's why it's not populating for me. But once you're done from there, you'll go into settings and you'll have a few tabs off to the side. This is, just your basic general tab, let you select whatever language you want it to be in, some other settings. I leave all of this information the same. And then, so from here, I go into stream, which is where you're going to connect to your Twitch account, your YouTube account, anything like that. Now, the thing with Twitch is you can just connect the account automatically and it'll get your stream key for you, or you can go in to your account settings and find your stream key and connect it all that way. I found it easier just to connect it via username and login, but that was just me. Now, the thing with YouTube is if you're wanting to be able to set up YouTube to be able to stream, do it 24 hours prior to being able to, or to the day that you want to stream. And the only reason that I say that is because you have to go in and authorize live streaming on your YouTube account. And that authorization process takes 24 hours to do. So once you've gone in and you've connected your Twitch or YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're going to be streaming on, from there, you'll go to your output. Now, up here, you're going to change this to advanced. So I can't do it because I'm recording and it won't let me adjust any of those settings right now. So once you're in here, the first thing that you're going to change is your encoder, which there's either X264 or the NVIDIA NVENC. I use the NVIDIA NVENC just because it processes better and it takes the load off of the CPU, whereas X264 runs directly off of your CPU. And then you can have a rescale output. I don't use one. That's totally optional. But from there, you'll want to change your rate control if it's not already to CBR. Now, the other thing that you're going to want to do is adjust your bitrate, and your bitrate is going to be determined by the speed of your internet and basically determine the quality of what you want it to do. Now, if you are a brand new streamer on Twitch, it's a little different on YouTube, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But when you're streaming on Twitch and you are not an affiliate or a partner, a lot of times what you're going to have to do is stream at a lower quality because you only have the quality that your setting your stream to be at now. And some people's internet isn't fast enough to be able to handle, 1920 by 1080, 60 FPS the entire time. You adjust your bitrate to a little bit lower. Granted, my internet's fast enough that if I wanted to, I could do this, at 5,000 or 6,000, and it would process it just fine. But I run it a little bit lower because then I know I'm not going to have any formal issues with video lagging or anything of the sort. From here, these are just my basic settings. If you guys want to use them, you're more than welcome to. I believe I pulled some of these settings from another video. I'll see if I can find it and link it down below. Once you have this done and set up, go into the audio tab and then put your sample rate that's right here to 48 kilohertz. That just allows you to have the best audio quality. And then from there, this is one of the more crucial steps to do. In your desktop audio, you'll click on the drop down menu and you can adjust where your audio is coming from. So for me, I have a Go XLR and I use the system, which gives, all of my system sounds through the stream. Everybody can hear everything, which is what I wanted it to be. Whereas, you have a couple other options of if you wanted to be game or your sample, or if you wanted to or have it sound through your monitor or whatever. I personally find system is the best way to go. And this will be different if you don't have any form of audio interface. If you do have an audio interface, say it's like a Focusrite Scarlett Solo, your desktop audio will be one of two things. One will either be, I believe there's a function on there that you can do it through the Focusrite Solo, or the other one is whatever headphones it is that you're using, whether it's like a USB microphone. So say you're running the Logitech G Pro X wireless headset and it recognizes that you have that plugged into your computer. You can set your desktop audio to where, it's whatever you're hearing in your headphones, and that's what everyone else is going to hear as well. And then the same sort of situation for your mic and auxiliary audio. This is, that's how you guys are hearing me right now because I set it to my chat mic in order for you guys to be able to hear me. And the same sort of thing will go for this, like it would for the desktop audio, as in using the Focusrite or Go XLR, or if you're just using a USB headset that has a built-in microphone, ain't nothing wrong with it. You'll just select whatever microphone that is through that drop down right there. So say, again, you're using a Logitech G Pro X wireless or the G Pro X wired, whatever, and it has that option for, I believe it says like Logitech G Pro chat or something like that. You can select it there. If not, I'll show you guys the other round way to be able to go in and do that. And then you can adjust the desktop and mic auxiliary audio. So once you have your audio and your mic stuff set up, we're going to go into the video tab. I have so before I jump ahead, your base canvas resolution is going to be the resolution of your monitor. My monitor is a 1920 by 1080. If for whatever reasons you were to have a 1440p monitor or anything like that that's much bigger, that's what you'll adjust your base resolution to so that it captures your monitor correctly. Now your output scaled resolution is what's going to be different per person. So your output scaled resolution is what you see on the stream. If you're wanting it to be, prime quality 1920 by 1080, or if you're wanting to stream at 1080p 60, you would do it at 1920 by 1080 and then set your common FPS values at 60. Again, this is going to be different if you're a brand new Twitch streamer that has not hit affiliate or partner or anything of the sort. You're just right out of the gate, brand new. A lot of people will stream at 1280 by 720. And the reason that people will do that is because it's easier for people who have a slower internet to be able to process it. And then other people will also reduce the common FPS values to 30 versus 60. But you can totally do it either way. I personally have found that even when I had very slow internet before I got the internet that I have now, I could watch streams at 720p 60, or even sometimes on a good day, 1920 by 1080 60 FPS. So it just sort of depends on what you want to do from there. But let's go on ahead and we are going to get into the more important stuff of what's going to make your stream, which is your overlays, your graphics, your sources, all of that fun stuff. So we're going to go ahead and just start by adding all of our scenes. I already have a scene here, so what I'm going to do is just rename it. And I'm just going to rename this as live because this is usually how my live screen looks. Only difference is I might have a camera frame or I might have my logo down here in this bottom corner. It just adds another personal touch to it, if you will. So the other scenes that I usually have, I believe it's 5 or 6 screens, and I usually have a starting screen, and then you can adjust where these screens are going to be. I have a starting, I have a live, a just chatting, which is usually just like a full screen, and then I will also have a intermission, which is basically I have a screen itself that says intermission on it. That is if I have to get up and go get food, or I need to go to the bathroom, or I do something like that. I don't want people to have to stare at an empty room behind me. Then I just place it on intermission and I change it when I come back. So, and then after that, the last screen that I have is an ending screen, which is, you know, when you're winding down the stream and you're ready to get things done and finalize everything, then you're good to go from there. So what I'm going to do on this screen is also going to be able to take effect on a couple other screens, depending on if you have like a graphic or you want to do like your game capture, anything like that. So I'm just going to start adding the sources that I would usually have on my live screen to this screen and adjust things to how I want them. And then we'll go in and do the starting, just chatting, intermission, and ending screen. And then we'll go from there. So obviously you guys already see that I have added my camera, but the way that you'll do that is you'll click the plus button down here and then video capture device. Once you click on video capture device, it'll bring up a window that looks like this, and you can select whatever camera it is that you're using. So for me, I have 2 options for my camera of the USB video device, which I use the Razer Kiyo Pro because I enjoy the way that it looks, but it just populates as USB video device. Or if you have like the Logitech C920 or C922, whatever, it'll automatically populate there, and you just select your camera and it'll populate. The one thing that I use that I enjoy is a software that's called NVIDIA Broadcast. Now, the thing about NVIDIA Broadcast is you have to have a RTX card, RTX 2000 series or later, in order to be able to use the software. It does not use on GTX cards. So once you have, if you're going to use NVIDIA Broadcast or anything like that, and again, all of this stuff I will link down in the description below, but once you have your video source selected, I scroll down here because sometimes it'll augment the way that the picture looks, like it could be square or it could just look very distorted. The resolution and FPS type I set to custom because I don't want it to use the base one. I set my camera resolution to 1920 by 1080, and the FPS, my camera is actually a 60 FPS cam, but I just do it to match the output because sometimes if you set it to 60, it can distort the image or freeze the camera, or it looks a little bit weird. Or you can just put it at highest FPS. When I had a Logitech C920, that's what I did, and the image quality was always great. So, and then all of this other stuff I don't touch because I don't want to mess any of it up. Now that you'll have your video capture device selected, then you'll go ahead and get your camera set up wherever you want it to be, whether it's here or up here in the corner over here. And OBS does have auto snapping, which basically means that as you get closer to the edge, it'll basically just snap it to the edge for you so that you don't have to spend time trying to line it up, anything like that from there. Now, as you see, my monitor is being captured, and that is through something that is called display capture. And display capture, all it does is, well, exactly what it says. It captures the display of whatever monitor it is that you're working on or playing games on, whatever. And you can select whatever monitor it is here. And so for me, I have 3 monitors, and this is my vertical monitor, and then this is the monitor that I have directly above the one that I'm using currently. And because I'm just using my primary monitor, that's what I have it set on. So from here, I will go in and add game capture, which does exactly what it says it does. It captures your game. And then all of these settings, I generally will leave the same. And then I just move it all the way to the bottom. That way, whenever I have graphics or anything like that, have the graphics in front of what game it is that I'm broadcasting. And then the other thing that I see right here is if you guys look in the upper corner that is right up there, you'll see a little red square. So there's 2 ways to do it. You can transform and or you'll right click, go up to transform, and then hit fit to screen. And then as you see now, the red rectangle is around everything. Or the other way that you can do it, if you saw, go back and where it says fit to screen, hit Control F, and then it fits that source to the screen if you would just rather use a keyboard shortcut. The other thing that I forgot to mention about the camera is if you see in this like display that comes up when you're looking at everything about your camera, you'll see that my camera on the left and then the pop-out display where it shows your settings are 2 different images, as in I'm facing 2 different ways. And the way that you'll fix that, because I don't like it, this is what it usually will look like. This is what it normally will look like when you add your camera source to your OBS. This is how it will look, because this is the way that the image is being captured. So this is actually my right hand, even though on the video it looks like my left. And this is my left hand, even though it looks like my right. So what I will do is go in, you hit transform, and then flip horizontal. And what it will do is show the true image to where it's not distorted. So this is my left hand, this is my right hand. Makes things visually easier to understand, at least in my brain. That's how it's easier to understand. So what I'm going to do now is, you guys won't be able to see me for a second until I come back to, you'll see that this is still capturing my microphone. You guys just can't see me. So what I'm going to do here, this is how I'm going to add my starting screen. So because I have a starting screen that is moving, this is a media source, by the way. So if you have any form of moving picture or anything like that, you'll hit media source. And then once you name it to whatever you want to name it, you'll hit OK. And then you'll browse your local files. Mine is on my desktop. Now, the one thing that is most important to remember if you have an animated photo of any kind is to select loop. Otherwise, the first time it plays will be the only time that it plays, and nobody else can see what it is that's supposed to be there. So now you can see I have an animated starting screen. I'll show later on how to add the live chat, or if you want your alerts or anything like that to this. But this is the only thing of a source-wise that I will add to my starting screen. Now, if you're one of those people that has an external microphone, and by external, I mean like if you use like a Yeti Blue microphone, like the USB version, or if you're using a USB headset that just has the microphone built into it. The other thing I forgot to mention is you're going to have to add a audio output and input. Your audio input is going to be your microphone, and your audio output is going to be your headphones. And that's how, so what I was just talking about, the audio input and the audio output, this is the other roundabout way that you'll be able to capture your desktop audio as well as your voice if it does not give you the option to in your settings. And this is if you're using a external microphone that's not through an interface, or if you're using like a USB headset or anything of the sort, this is where you will use that. So again, input capture is your voice, output capture is just whatever headset it is or earbuds or whatever it is that you're going to be using. That's where you select that. Now I'll go to my just chatting, and then the nice thing is once you create a source if you want to use it again. Like I've already created my camera source. All you have to do, let me flip this real quick. There we go. Is once you add it and you select whatever type of, whatever source it is. So like mine is the video capture device. It'll ask you add existing, and then you just click on whatever existing option is there, and it'll auto-populate it into the scene. The only thing that you'll have to do is if you want the image flipped like mine, you'll have to go in and do that as well. And then this is usually what my intermission screen will look like. So that's all that's there. And I will add a chat box and my alerts in here. That way, you know, all of that is there, and I'll show you guys how to do that here in a minute. All of those have been set up and added. So what we're going to do now, what you're going to have to do is, in order to get your chat box and your alerts and all of that fun stuff to work, what you're going to need to do is go to, whether you use Stream Elements or Streamlabs, whatever. I use Streamlabs just because it's user-friendly and I like it. Once you're in here, what you're going to want to look for is the alert box. Right over here on the side, it will say alert box. In here, this is also where you're going to be able to upload any formal alerts that you want to. And you can adjust whatever you want your message to say or anything like that, whether it's is now following or your subscriptions or donations or anything like that. So what you're going to do is, in order to add your alert box, you'll see that there's something right here that says widget URL. What you're going to do is you can either just click here to copy, whatever, and then just hit copy. What you're going to do from there is come back down into your OBS and click the plus button and then hit browser. So this is going to be a browser source, and I renamed this to alerts. That way I know what it is, because there will be two browser sources that I add in here. And where it says URL right here, where it will say URL right here, you'll delete the one that's in there now and then paste in the other one. And the one thing that I do just to ensure that it is working correctly is I will do like, and you can do that with all of them. But once you change the size of that, whether it's subscription, resub, donation, whatever, as long as you've adjusted the physical size of it on the very first test, all of them will be that size and all of it will be incongruency there. Now, the other thing that a lot of people want to add is the chat box. And in order to get your chat box, so in this search Streamlabs, this is where you will find your chat box. Just type in the word chat box and that's where it will be. And then from here, you can edit what it will look like, whether you want it to be like a clean or boxed or the Twitch style. That's what I use. I just like the look of it. Or there's the old school where it has like the old like 80-bit image style. I like this. You can adjust text color, background color, all that fun stuff. And again, you'll just hit. So I usually use it on these screens. And again, you'll do a browser source. And then I changed the name of it to chat box. Again, you'll delete your URL. And once you're in here, this is where you can adjust the physical size of it. And I will usually fit it to, and if you hold shift while you're clicking and dragging, you can adjust your frame to whatever you want it to be. So it can fit literally anywhere. We'll go back into live. Actually, we'll go into just chatting, and I will add it. I'm going to go ahead and add in my logo. And because that's just a basic logo, you'll click add and you'll hit image. And then I always just title this logo and then hit OK. You'll browse. And I believe, obviously, you just need to resize it so that it doesn't take up your entire screen like mine just did. And then I usually make mine where it's sort of like a YouTube footer where it's small enough down in the corner, and then you're good to go from there. The other thing that a lot of people will add into their stream is a type of transition that is called a stinger. Now, if you want to be able to do that, basically what that is like when you change screens, where you'll see on some people's streams how it will be like doors closing, or like it'll whoosh that one away and bring in the live scene or the just chatting, whatever. The way to be able to do that is over here where it says scene transitions. In scene transitions, you'll hit the plus button. And what you're going to look for is the word stinger. You'll hit add. And I always just leave it as stinger. You can name it whatever you want to. And then just hit OK. You'll find your file with it in there. And there are some that have sound and others that don't. So it's totally up to you if you want to have the transition with sound or the transition without sound. A lot of times I use it without sound just because the audio from it on mine is very loud. So now you guys will see that it is the transition works. And then the only other thing that I wanted to cover on this video was, I know that a lot of people will use a Stream Deck or something like that to be able to change their scene or change whatever else they want to on their stream. What I'm about to show you is keyboard shortcuts on how to change your scenes. It will not work with anything else. Granted, you can go in and add these shortcuts to whatever else you want to, as you will see when we get in there. There's all this stuff that you can go in and do. But the way that you go in to do this is you'll click on settings and go into hotkeys. Now you'll see that you can hit, or you can do all types of different hotkeys to start streaming, to pause your recording, to stop recording, to start recording, to do your transition, all of that stuff. What I do mine for is the starting, live. So basically all of the scenes that I have, my starting, my live, my just chatting, my intermission, and my ending. And what I will do is do control 1 through whatever number of screens that I have, or scenes that I have, should I say. So starting for me is always control 1, live is control 2, just chatting is control 3, intermission is control 4, and ending is control 5. And then you'll just hit apply. And then, like, so I'm on my live screen right now. I'm going to hit control 3. And now I'm on my just chatting screen. So basically, you can set this to whatever keybind you want it to be. I know that a lot of people who play MMOs or who play advanced shooters like Tarkov or anything like that have control bound to different things. So you can set it to whatever you want to. And that's totally at your discretion. But I hope that this video helped a little bit, or if it was any form of confusing, please let me know. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good afternoon. Peace.